So here I am back on Orist in the Nurslund area, and here is Håkan putting finishing touches on his växthus, which is a greenhouse. And he has built this entirely himself, and it is wonderful. The door just got on, and the glass windows are all up, and he's waiting for the roof. It's coming, hopefully next week. So, Håkan, how long has it taken you to build this greenhouse?
Couple of weeks.
Can you imagine? A couple of weeks. He is so duktig. He is so clever and great. He can build anything. So this is amazing. And notice the big rock here. Swedes do not remove rocks. They work around them. Okay, so he has built this around that rock. So tell me a little bit about the greenhouse.
What's to tell?
What's to tell? It's not just going to be a greenhouse. It's going to have a wood stove in there.
Yes.
So during the winter, you're going to be nice and cozy.
We're going to celebrate Christmas.
Okay. Am I invited?
Of course.
Okay. So now he's getting down. And it is just a wonderful, and very artistic.
Oh.
And take a look at his equipment. This man is ready to do anything. My gosh, heavy equipment. So, did you design this greenhouse yourself?
Yes, of course. No blueprints, just in the head.
In the head.
In
yeah.
the head.
Håkan, I think your head is very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
And here we can see it. We've been sitting outside at the table. We just had breakfast a while ago. The weather is gorgeous. It's today is August 12th. Yes, in 2024. It's a beautiful day here on the island of Orist, west coast of Sweden. And here comes his two grandkids with his son-in-law, Jakob. And here we have Molly and Theo. And guess what? It's going to be barnvakt today. And that is babysitting. So, okay, well, welcome, Molly and Jakob and Theo. Hey.
Hej. Vilka kommer?
So Papa, Morfar is very happy, right?
Of course.
Of course. And Jakob, you are very happy.
I'm very happy.
And you're very grateful, right?
Very grateful.
Yeah. So what is your work schedule today?
From 12:45 to 23 p.m. or a.m.
Yes. Oh, no, a PM?
PM.
PM.
Past midnight.
Yeah, good.
Ja.
Okay, and so,
Nej, egentligen, men vi hoppar ju rasten.
yeah. Hard-working guy.
Hard working.
Two of them. Yeah, Håkan and Jakob. All right. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Apple cake and coffee, and Mikkel, known in America as Michael, and Ramona, sometimes called in America Mona, but not here. And they are husband and wife. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Swedish economy. And Michael, what is your feeling about it today?
Well, my feeling about it is that we have a high tax rate, and that seemed to be justified like a couple of maybe 10-20 years ago. That was justified. It seems that that money went to a good place, and I think that I and a lot of other Swedish people feel like that money is no longer doing what it's supposed to be doing, that it get lost in the system maybe, and doesn't wind up in the places that it should. We have healthcare that doesn't really work. We have police that doesn't really work. We have roads and railroads that doesn't work, and it shouldn't be that in a country with a 60% tax rate. That's kind of how I think a lot of other Swedish people feel.
And so what about the healthcare system? How is that affected?
I think that the emergency healthcare works sometimes. I actually was in the emergency a couple of months ago, and I was in a bed in the hallway because they didn't have enough room in any of the rooms. So I was waiting with extreme stomach pains in the hallway for many hours before I got help. So that was not very fun. And the general healthcare, our business has a healthcare plan on top of the normal Swedish healthcare, because then you can use the private sector, the private healthcare sector, instead of the Swedish one, and that is a lot more effective and a lot faster. So you get help faster with your issues, basically.
Now you had a dislocated disc?
A herniated disc.
A herniated disc. And so you got an X-ray of that within 2 days.
Yeah.
How long would it have taken with the government health plan?
I'm not sure, but I've heard similar people having similar problems waiting for weeks or maybe even months before they get that help. So I think that would be my case, maybe 2-3 months, something like that.
Wow.
And obviously I had a lot of issues working during that time. Couldn't sit at all. I had to stand or lay down. So it was really important for me to get a diagnosis to see what I could do about it. And I think that having that private healthcare helped me reach healthy status a lot quicker.
Okay, so you after that diagnosis, then you had help so that your pain was relieved and the herniated disc situation was improved. So how do you feel today?
I feel a lot better today, and I did get painkillers, and I got a regimen on how to work out, how to stretch my back and stuff like that. Maybe I would have gotten that from the state as well, I'm not sure, but
So you'd had no operation?
no operation, no.
Okay, well that was your choice.
That was my choice, and also the doctor said that I had a herniated disc in that way that I could probably get healthy by myself, and that I think was the case. I'm still not out of the woodwork because I have the back kind of the pain keeps coming back sometimes, maybe 2 or 3 times a year. I have like a really intense pain that lingers for a couple of weeks, and then it goes back, but it goes back to normal state faster every time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So eventually you won't have that problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so what do Swedes do if most of their money goes to taxes? Because I know all the goods that a Swede buys, the sales tax is 25%.
Yeah.
So that, together with the healthcare, the education, and all of that. So how do Swedes save money?
Yeah, that's a tough part. Just to go through those percentages, the employer pays 30% tax before you get your paycheck, and then you pay 30% of your paycheck to the state and to the commune. So that's what's left there is what you have to buy groceries with, pay rent with, and all that stuff. I think one of the problems with people not having enough money, when you buy a house, for example, and you have a loan to the state, you actually get a tax relief from that loan. So if you have a loan for 4 million crowns, you get some of that back that you pay as the monthly expenses on that loan. So that's how some people pay less, but that basically means people get stuck in a trap of having a big loan that they can't pay off. So what's left there after you pay your rent or your mortgage or your groceries is not a lot. And the Swedish system, I think, is built in a way that you're not supposed to have a lot left, but when you're 65 or 70 and you take out your pension, that's supposed to cover you there. So that's when you're free, so to speak. After that, then you have paid your dues to the country because you worked for all those years. But there's also a high tax on that pension later on as well. So that doesn't really work for many people. There's a lot of older people that take out their pension and they can't really live off that. So we have to do like some other people do, where they try to find other means of getting an income so that you have that future secured. So that when you're 65 or 70, you have enough money to pay your rent, to buy your groceries. There's a lot of people worried that they won't have enough when that time comes.
Okay, so what has been your and Ramona's solution?
We buy properties and rent them out. So we have one property in Sweden, and we also have a company in the UK where we rent out properties. We have one there so far. So that's basically been our solution, where we loan money in Sweden and buy properties in other countries, because you get, as I said, you get tax reduction from loans. So we use those loans to get tax reduction and buy houses in other countries and try to get a passive income from that. Owning properties is not passive, but it's more passive than working for every hour to get money.
Right. And so over time, you're going to be able to save a lot of money so that your future years and those of your children will be much better than they would be if you didn't own property.
Yes, I would hope so. We're not there yet, so we don't know what's going to happen, but from my research, it seems that that's the way.
Okay, and Ramona, you have contributed to the house here in Grums that you own and rent.
Yes.
Because you are also, besides being an engineer and doing quality control at the large paper factory, or paper mill, shall we say, you're also an interior designer.
Yes.
So did you have fun on this house?
In Grums, yes, it was really fun to rework all the stuff in the house. We rebuilt some walls, and I love the fixer-upper thing, to have something old and make it like new again.
Yeah.
Not just buy new stuff, but
Right.
to appreciate what's there.
So you're contributing to the health of the community,
Yes.
the housing health.
Yeah.
That's great. And now you have a property in the UK, and how did all that come about?
Well, we took a course online, learning all the steps of buying a house, because the process is quite involved over there with the, UK being UK, there's a lot of paperwork involved and everything. So, and especially being from another country, makes it even harder. But there is a lot of people with a lot of experience that can help you through that process. So we basically learned all the steps in buying, refurbishing, and then renting out properties or selling them, and getting a big contact list of every person that you need to know in all of those steps to make that happen. So that was a big help in that journey.
So the realtors, and then of course the carpenters, the plumbers, the electricians, all of that information you received.
Yeah, that's right. So you have what's called a sourcing agent. So they find a property that is suitable for an investor to buy and to refurbish. So they have all the numbers for you there as well. So, but you have to do your due diligence, as they say, and check all those things yourself as well. But they have a house, and for example, here's one house for £100,000. You need about £30,000 to refurbish this, and it's going to have an approximate value of £160,000 maybe after everything's done. And then they take out a fee for that as well. And then they bring in a builder that helps you look through all that. And then you have help with taking out the mortgage for that house as well. And then after everything is done, you have a letting agent that takes care of the house for you and take care of the tenant.
And
That's
do you
it.
get the bills from the bank to pay the mortgage?
Yeah.
You do. So you
Yeah.
pay with Swedish crowns.
No, we pay through our limited company in the UK.
Oh, I
So
see.
it's all separate from us as persons. It's an own legal entity over there that is a limited company.
Okay, wonderful. So you have your own company there
Yeah.
in order to transact business.
Yeah.
So Ramona, I understand there's only one house in the UK, but you're just beginning. So what's the future, do you hope?
To have many houses in the UK to rent out, and also maybe flip one house. To,
And it's
gain
wonderful
more.
that there are real managers in the house. And here we have Ines. And Ines, are you going to help with the houses in the UK?
Ska du hjälpa bygga hus med mamma och pappa?
And Jakob, ska du hjälpa mamma och pappa att köpa hus?
Han äter nu.
Nej, he loves his apple cake.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, okay. And Ines, thank you, Ines. Thank you, Jakob. Thank you, Ramona. Thank you,
for the
Mikael.
archives.
It's been great to be here. And Ramona is her mother is my no, I don't know. We're third or fourth cousins by now. No, we're third cousins once removed. I think you and I. But your grandmother, Margareta, and her grandmother and my grandmother were sisters. So, but I feel much closer to you, even though we're generations apart. So thank you so much for inviting me to the house for lunch, and especially äppelkaka, apple cake. It's so good. Ines, what do you, and thank you, Ines, for my beautiful bracelet that you made. Yes, så tusen tack för armband som du gjorde. Det är så vackert. Ja, och Jakob, tack så mycket för målning till tavla. Jaha. Okay, well, they're really interested in other things, which is always appropriate because they're 5 and 3 years old. So, yes. Okay, well, thank you. Until next visit, and welcome to Massachusetts.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Here is my cousin, Kalle Carl Friedner, Stockholm. We're in his apartment in Södermalm, which is the most beautiful and a very old section of Stockholm. And he has agreed to talk about NATO, Sweden's entrance into NATO. So, Kalle, were you in agreement with the decision that Sweden enter NATO and become a member?
Yes, I was, definitely.
And why was that?
Well, we have been neutral since 1814, when we had a war with Norway. And Sweden ceased war, Norway. And in 1905, the Norwegians wanted to become their own country, you know. And that happened without any war. So we have been in peace since 1814. And we were neutral both in the First and the Second World War, which was very good for Sweden, of course, to be left outside. But Denmark, Finland, and Norway were occupied during the Second World War. And also during the First World War, Finland was on war with Russia, but they succeeded to get liberated from Russia that time. Now, I would have preferred if we could have stayed neutral, but as Russia is so aggressive and is could be attacking the rest of Western Europe, not only Ukraine. I think it's necessary to be a part of the alliance, the NATO alliance, which both Denmark and Norway long have been members of. Finland united with NATO very recently, and Sweden was supposed to do the same at the same time, but the Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan said he didn't want that at first, and nor did Viktor Orban in Hungary, but finally they had to agree anyway. Well, that's it.
That's it in a nutshell. Thank you, Cully, so much. Now let's talk a little bit about Stockholm. Why is it such a unique city?
Well, unique. Stockholm is situated on a couple of islands, and there are mainlands too, of course, south of Stockholm and north of Stockholm, but in the east we have the Baltic, and in the west we have Lake Mälaren, which is one of the biggest lakes in Sweden. So this was this place, Stockholm, became a kind of a lock to the inner part of Sweden. So it was important for that reason, and it was founded around 1250 by a man called Birger Jarl, with whom I am related, they say. I don't know. And nowadays we have a couple of bridges, and we are going to have more roads around Stockholm. A long road, mainly under the surface, in tunnels, that is being dug out now, and will be ready in 3 or 4 years maybe, and for traffic. But I think they can open parts of it earlier than that.
Well, I know that Stockholm is built on 14 islands, but it's not easily observed because they're so close together. And
Yes.
there are bridges, small bridges, which connect them. But it's really interesting because there's always water everywhere.
Yes, that's right. And we also have mountains here. So here in the southern part of central Stockholm, we have mountains with beautiful views of the rest of the city, really.
And you took me up there last time I was here 2 years ago, and it's quite a climb up that mountain, and it overlooks Lake Mälaren, and I could see the city hall and other beautiful buildings from the 18th century.
That's right. But the city hall was built, it was finished in 1923.
And has the Nobel Prize dinner always occurred in that hall?
Yes.
And that happens after the presentation of the Nobel
prize ceremony,
Prizes
yeah.
at the Concerthus, the concert hall.
Yes.
And have you ever been to one of those presentations?
No.
No. Hard to get a ticket.
I haven't even tried.
Okay. In 1962, I won a lottery ticket, a ticket to the concert house, because I was a student at the University of Stockholm, and there was a lottery, and I won a ticket, and it was pretty amazing. So I think it was Hemingway who got the Nobel Prize in 1962, and then Crick and I forget but it was the Healy, what is that? You know, it permitted cloning, and they Crick and his partner, and they won the Nobel Prize in medicine. So it was quite an historic moment for me, and I enjoyed it very much. So you are a retired music journalist. You had a program of classical music and jazz on Radio Sweden, Program 2, and you have been to Carnegie Hall and recorded Elizabeth Söderström, and you graciously had me as a guest. But you've been all over the world for recording music and musicians. And what was your what was one of the highlights, or the one you remember maybe the most?
Well, interviewing Benny Goodman, of course. We had an interview in New York in 1982, and I have interviewed so many really. Birgit Nilsson, for example, I knew her actually, a little bit at least. We met several times. And what more? Count Basie in Stockholm. That was a short interview, but it was nice to meet him. And Nikolaj Gedda, also a great Swedish singer, whom I knew a little bit. And well, there have been many highlights, really.
You've had a wonderful career, and you were so appreciated by the Swedish population, and you have, in your apartment here, you have more recordings than I've ever seen, where people have books, and you do have books too. Mm-hmm. So here are the books. But
these books are only about music.
Okay.
Other books are there and in my bedroom.
Okay, only about music. All right, and so I'm going to turn around. This is the kitchen, and I'm going to show everyone how many DVDs he has, or CDs he has.
CDs, yeah.
CDs. And over here, it's just absolutely amazing.
It's about 3,000.
3,000 at least. So we have wall-to-wall CDs and music books. Okay, so thank you, Kalle.
You're so welcome, and welcome back again.
Thank you. Priscilla Almquist Olsen from Stockholm, Sweden, and other areas of Sweden, Orust, the island of Orust, where my mother's parents came from, and now in Stockholm, where Kalle Friedner is a relative on my father's side. So I hope you've enjoyed these snippets from Sweden. There will be more, but for now, it's August 9th, 2024. Until next time, be well. Hej då. I am now in the house of Håkan and Solveig Gustafsson. Håkan is my cousin here in Sweden on the island of Orust on the west coast, about 1 hour north of Gothenburg. And here we have David, Solveig's son. And here we have Johannes, another son, and his wife, Ida. And over here we have Jonas to all of you Americans. And over here is Håkan's daughter, another cousin of mine, and her name is Carolina. and she's married to Jonas. And there's a baby. Maybe you can hear the baby. All right. And I'm Priscilla Almquist Olsen, your host of Snippets from Sweden. And we're going to ask today some questions from these Swedes. And one of the topics I would like to hear them speak about is the joining of Sweden into NATO and what they think about that. And maybe somebody can talk about the historical perspective regarding the admission of Sweden into NATO. Okay, who wants to start? Okay, Johannes is always the one who starts. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm more of a. We have been neutral for a very long time, and it's a big change for our country to join the NATO. And and I'm not sure that's a good thing, but now when we're joining, we should do the best of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel more protected from Russia and Putin?
That's a hard question. I believe that we maybe, if we got attacked, it's good to have something in our back. But it's a bigger chance that we get dragged into a war when we are in NATO.
Right, okay. Well, because everybody has to stick together. So if
Yeah.
one nation is attacked, all the nations help out.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, Sweden has had a history, Ida, of peacekeeping in areas with a lot of violence. So, Johannes,
Yeah.
Swedes have been exposed to violence and to war
Yeah,
as
that's right.
peacekeepers. So, Ida, what's your take on this?
Well, overall, I'm not super interested in global politics, especially when it comes to war. I think it's more of a cultural thing that we see ourselves as a peaceful and neutral country. But as you say, we do work a lot on. I think we do have foreign military base operations where we try to work peacefully, keep the peace, but also we have a lot of history with hosting negotiations, peace negotiations. I think that rings true in the souls of Swedes
Yeah,
to
You're
be the one to get everyone together and get along.
right.
Yeah.
And Swedes have been peace-loving people and want to promote
Yeah.
peace.
Yeah.
And that might be a little bit harder since we got into the NATO, because now we can't be the one that's not involved in the conflict anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And one nice thing, you have a consulate in North Korea.
Yeah.
So I know that Swedes have talked to North Koreans about American interests. And David, how do you feel about Sweden joining NATO?
Wow. Yes, that's a good question. I totally agree with this thing about Sweden being a neutral country and being able to negotiate. I think.
Okay, but suppose Sweden is attacked by Russia.
Yeah.
Gotland is the island that they would go to strategically.
Yeah.
So how would you feel about having Russians on the island of Gotland? What would you do if you weren't in NATO?
Before we got into NATO, we in Sweden we still had lots of cooperation and friendship with, for example, America and lots of countries in Europe. So I think if we were not in NATO, we would get help anyway, because we have this cooperation and we help other countries when they are in war and they help
Okay,
us.
so you would get the benefit of being in NATO, but you wouldn't have to contribute to the protection of other countries. Isn't that a little self-centered?
I think we have been helping other countries with peacekeeping even before we got into NATO. And I think we would have continued with that even if we wouldn't have been
That's true.
into NATO now as we are now. But I think there are good things with joining NATO, and there are things that is not so good, like not being able to have this role as a neutral peacekeeping agent in the world as we had before. So it's pros and cons. And
Right. No,
I don't like have certain thing that I think it's good or bad. I just don't know.
No,
Yeah.
you make very
I'm
good.
happy that I didn't have to be the one to take that decision because I wouldn't know which would be the best. Yeah.
You make good points, and Håkan and Solveig, you're older than these young people. Do you feel
Oh,
that
are we?
NATO is? Do you feel that NATO is a good thing for your country?
It's a hard question. I think NATO is good for us. I think that's a good thing.
Is that because of your age, because you've seen so much trouble in the world, and the protection is important to you and your family?
Yes, I think so.
Any other comments, Solveig?
No, and I speak so bad English. I don't like to speak in the camera.
Okay, we'll say it in Swedish and I'll translate.
Jag tycker också det är en svår fråga. Jag är ju rädd att vi blir indragna i krig då. Men
Okay, she said it's a difficult question, and she's afraid of being drawn into conflicts.
men but we can bli attacked and not vi kan inte försvara oss, och då är det ju bra att vara
Yeah.
med i NATO.
Okay, so she's saying you can be attacked and not protected, so that's a good thing to have the NATO protection.
It's very hard and det är oroande så nära som det är och så.
Yes. Okay, and so she's saying that Russia is so near Sweden, and there have been submarines
Ja,
patrolling around Stockholm recently in years past, and so the Russians are very daring. Yeah, and okay, and Jonas,
Yeah,
how do you feel about this whole situation?
I think it's a good thing that like-minded countries protect each other. And I don't mind protecting them if they protect me when I'm in trouble. So I think it's a good thing.
Okay, well said. Okay, now I know that Johannes just wants to say something, but Carolina, you're over there with the baby, and do you think that, and the baby's name is Björn, and do you think Björn is better off having NATO, having Sweden being a member of NATO?
I hope so.
Okay, you hope so.
Yeah.
Is that a yes? Is that a thumbs up?
Yes.
Okay. And so now we have this future Swede.
Yeah.
Hi, Björn. Yes, Björn is a big 6-month-old baby. Now, Johannes is sitting here just...
Boiling.
Yes, boiling, ready to say something, because he's not exactly agreeing with Jonas.
No, but it's a very complex matter, of course. But before we, as Sweden, has a lot of standpoints in a lot of things, and when you're a part of the alliance, you maybe not can speak that freely about things like we have been a big supporter of making nuclear weapons forbidden in the world, and we're been loud speaker of peace in the world and of different sides, and that doesn't cohere with everything that America or the NATO are doing. So it's we want to be independent in the way that we want, in regards of speaking our mind. And like the conflict in Israel and Palestine, and we have recognized the state of Palestine for a few years ago, and that might be harder to be that on the front line of taking decision that doesn't cohere with the rest of NATO. So that also is one of the points that I believe is important when you think about this. But now when we are joining, we should do the best of it. But I believe that it's a bad thing, but yeah.
It sounds to me like you're not so happy about it, but you think it's necessary.
No, I don't think it's necessary. But now when we have joined, we should do the best of it. But
Yeah.
I don't believe that Russia was trying to attack us. But and I think it's a bigger risk now than we have joined and than before.
Yeah.
But since we had a very close cooperation with Finland, and when Finland joined, it's hard to be the only one alone in Östersjön. So it's I would prefer to have Finland with me without to be a part of NATO. But because Finland did what they did, then they joined, and then it's hard.
Yes, and Finland, though, was occupied in 1939. They defeated the Russians, kicked them out, and they did it on skis in the winter. So the Finns know what it's like to be occupied. Sweden has never been occupied.
No, but we've been to war with Russia a lot of times. And,
yes, hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, I know. But that's my stand on the issue. We need to work inside NATO now and make our voice heard for the things that matter to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think you made a very good point. There are many countries, not just Sweden, which wants to have a decrease in militarization, get rid of the nuclear bombs, and all of those things. Those are the primary goals of Sweden for many years. But many of us in America have those goals too.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. Your voice is going to be heard on many important issues. Thank you all.
Thank you.
We are here in this beautiful home on the island of Orust. And of course, we are eating, which is what Swedes do many times a day. And here we have, we're on this island, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. And this is a beautiful, beautiful home. And these are very beautiful, wonderful people. These are my people. Thank you for joining me. Till next time, Priscilla Almquist Olsen. Okay, thank you so much for joining me on the island of Orust, west coast of Sweden, with my family. This is Priscilla Almquist Olsen saying, hej då, until next time. Be well.